Welcome back to the channel. My name is Brad, and today we're going to talk about Bitcoin because everybody's requested. Let's talk about Bitcoin Income. So these are ETFs that pays some type of distribution for income. Now, by the title and the thumbnail, there was one clear winner, and it's not what you think. So let's jump right into these and talk about the four different funds that have some type of distribution with some type of tie to Bitcoin. First, there's BITO. BITO tries to match the Bloomberg Galaxy Index for the Bitcoin price by purchasing future contracts. So when they do this, they generate an income. They distribute that income or those profits back to you as a distribution. Maxi uses future contracts, very similar to BITO, but they're not trying to match an index. Now, one thing about Maxi that does something different is a income strategy of put spreads on multiple different instruments. And when I say that, I saw gold, Russell 2000, I saw the NASDAQ and SPX. They had a bunch of put options on multiple different exchanges trying to generate you a little additional income. YBIT uses a BITO synthetic cover call strategy. All they do, they hold a put and a call on BITO and they sell cover calls against it, and they generate about 30%. YBIT, on the other hand, same strategy, BITO synthetics, cover calls, and they're about 43%. All the percentages on this chart came from Seeking Alpha. I used Seeking Alpha instead of going out and trying to download it from all the different websites to get all different type of answers across all different type of matrix and prices that they chose to do. I used today's data via Seeking Alpha, so I had one central point of where these percentages came from. The whole conversation is it matters when you purchased. That's all I can say. It makes a big difference when you purchased each one of these funds and the timing of your purchase. That's why I did a final review of purchasing all the funds that I'm going to talk about as of April 23rd of 2024, because that was the last start date for one of the funds, and I'm going to show you exactly how each one of the funds did from that date of purchase compared to the start date. But if I look at Maxi and you would have jumped in on day one of Maxi, the chart says it all. You would have done very well. $50,000 investment back in 2023 is right now sitting right around $135,000. You would have done extremely well if you would have bought Maxi off the very beginning. But notice the price of Bitcoin. Bitcoin is still ahead of Maxi. If you would have purchased Bitcoin $50,000 on the exact same day, you would have been behind actual Bitcoin. Next comes YBIT. If I bought YBIT, you can see where your income is. And again, YBIT, not a bad fund. BITO options, doing what they're supposed to be doing. You can pull your 8%, not bad. But again, it matters of when you purchase the fund. It really does. Now, it's still lagging behind Bitcoin. The beloved BITO. BITO, per the chart, the blue line is 100% reinvested back into BITO. I can tell you, I made my money off of BITO, and I went back in my data banks to find out, why did I make so much money? Well, I can tell you why. I started trading BITO right around the $35 range back in 2021. So in 2021, I was trading BITO right around the $35 range. I can tell you that I was making an annual rate of return of 25% as an average on my option trades. I held BITO and reinvested every single option trade premium back into BITO. I got out when there was a new all-time high of Bitcoin. That was my whole entire play. I waited forever. I cried at night because I went down significantly, and I wrote it, but I stopped selling options trading right around the time that the whole conversation about BlackRock coming out with an ETF. I then decided just to reinvest 100% of their distributions, and I made out very well. BITO is an investment today. Well, that's going to be slightly different, and it's going to look totally different if you purchased it on April 23rd, which is the newest date of the newest fund. And how did that play out for all the players? And last and not least, YBIT. So YBIT, significantly down. But then again, is it significantly down compared to the others? It has a different start date. You can see that you can pull off your 8% very easily, right? But your NAV is down. But also, the price of Bitcoin is down. So in the thumbnail, you saw that there was one clear winner. And Brad, what is it? Brad has many times told you that his Bitcoin play is Misty. Starting on 4/23, which is YBIT's start date, and ending as of yesterday, you're up 15.9%. Misty's worth $57,000 off of your $50,000 investment. Everything else is down, including Bitcoin. Good, bad, ugly, can't tell you. Just that, hey, if you invested $50,000 in Bitcoin on 4/23, here's the results. When I look at it, a combined chart, you can definitely see everybody's right around the same way. They're going up and down, they're matching, mix and match. But at the end of the day, Misty led the pack. Clear, obvious winner of this scenario. Now, I can hear the complaints literally through the screen. Brad, you didn't compare this to Coney. Coney would have done better. Gotcha. You didn't think I was going to compare it to Coney? If I compare it to Coney using the exact same date, using all the distributions, you're down 22%. It matters when you purchased. It really matters when you purchase these funds. If you have a thesis of Bitcoin is going to go to $1 million in 12 years, this is all water under the bridge. Who cares? Really, who cares? If that's your thesis. Or is your thesis Bitcoin is going to go to $100,000? Who cares? If that's your thesis, then these numbers don't matter. You'll take your percentage and you'll live life and be happy. If Bitcoin goes to zero, well, guess what? You're going to care. I'm not saying it's going to go to zero. I'm not saying anything. I think that Bitcoin is going to follow the global M2 money supply. That's my thesis, that as the global M2 money supply continues to go up, you're going to continue to see Bitcoin increase in price. Although, just throw this out for conversations, I think that the price that you're going to see Bitcoin go up due to the global M2 money supply is going to get smaller and smaller and smaller as a percentage. Could be wrong. I could be 100% wrong. But then again, I own Misty. And that is why I own Misty. It's a leverage play on Bitcoin. Coney has a different business model than Misty. Or Coin has a different business model than MicroStrategies. Two different businesses, two different strategies. MicroStrategy is more of a leverage play on Bitcoin. You can say all you want. The numbers are the numbers. I can't make any numbers up. Now, if you bought Coney way back in the day, you have done extremely well. No question about it. None at all. But if you would have bought Coney on 4/23, the date of the BITO ETF, you have not done as well as somebody buying it before the run-up. That is the data. That's all the data says to me. The data says to me, it's all about your thesis. If you believe Bitcoin is going to the moon, then by all means, buy any one of these and you'll make money. If you believe Bitcoin is not going to the moon, that it's going to trade sideways and we're going to have a crypto winter, then you might not want to play this. Brad, in his honest belief, is we're just entering the 4-year cycle. I'm going to base that on data. There's going to be another video in the next day or two about what the scholars say about it, because Brad goes out and does his graduate studies. This is the same type of studies that I would have done when I got my MBA. Went out and find all the paperwork from all the scholars and say, what does the scholars say about this? And that's what I did. And that video will be coming out. I think we're at the beginning of the 4-year cycle. So you have time. That's my thesis. I could be 100% wrong. That 4-year cycle could get broken next week. Could be totally wrong. But the whole story is, it matters when you buy. It matters when you get into the ETFs. It matters if you do a discounted free cash flow. It matters. Buying individual stocks, not knowing what the underlying is worth, is bad investing, period. If you did and I do my own discounted free cash flow, there's tons of calculators out there that you can use. I look at other people's calculations, my calculations. I look at the Seeking Alpha calculations, and I've told you that my calculations seem to be significantly lower, but they give you their calculations. And you should have your own calculations for discounted free cash flow on any single stock ETF that you want to get involved in. It's the same thing for oil and gold. If you have a gold calculation of where gold is going, then get into it. If gold is going up, if gold is going down, might not be the best time to buy gold unless you have a thesis that gold is going to go down and come back up. And that is a good thesis, because your investment will decrease in price over time. You'll collect the distributions. Hopefully you're investing something back into them, and then you can ride it back up. Just my 2 cents, but getting in at the right time, at the right price, is going to be the whole story of this video. Misty, I'm in at the right price at the right time. Coney, I told you to get in at 164. That was my discounted free cash flow. I don't even know what the price of Coney is today, but I bet it's somewhere similar to that price. BITO, you're going to make your money off of it. And if you own BITO, I would be selling options on top of it. You know it's going to go down in price at the end of every month. You know that they price that in, but you can sell options to make a little more revenue on top of your BITO, and that makes sense. Holding Bitcoin, totally your thesis. I gave you mine. I think Bitcoin will go up over time, gradually, as long as the government doesn't ban it for U.S. citizens. Don't think that's going to be happening. It's a commodity. That's the end of this video. Hopefully you got out of it timing matters and the importance of having your thesis matters. Until next time, God bless.